no matter who the sitting president is, we will have to look inward and check forth our own positions. Kailangan po, let us not base our decisions simply on what's happening outside or simply on the environment. We will have to make our decisions focused on internally. What's our own basic situation? How can we optimize our own personal net worth and estate values while balancing all the investments that we've made? Hello mga ka-RFF, this is again Rex Mendoza from Rampver Financials. Kamusta po kayo? I hope you're all doing well with your loved ones, and it's our fervent wish that this year 2022 is unfolding to be a great year for all of you. Ang topic ko po sa bidyong ito ay tungkol sa elections. Alam nyo, marami siyempreng nakatutok sa paghupa ng COVID. Hopefully, paghupa din ng gera between Russia and Ukraine. Sana naman, hindi na lumala ang pagsabog ng Bulkang Taal. Ang dami po talagang nangyayari. Pero I guess, many of you are also thinking about the short overhang for this year. And that is the presidential elections that would be happening in our country very shortly. So siguro may mga worried na baka kung si ganito ang manalo, baka kung si ganyan ang manalo, ano kaya ang mangyayari sa ating ekonomiya? Ano kaya ang mangyayari sa ating mga merkado? Yan po ay napaka-regular na tanong. People are in a way uncomfortable. Maybe ito ang manok nila at ang feeling nila pag natalo itong manok nila, medyo masama ang mangyayari sa bansa. Now, sasabihin ko po ng derechahan, I am here not to have a political discussion. In fact, I want to make this as apolitical as possible. Kasi po, yun nga po ang thesis ko eh. Ang thesis ko is to let all of you realize that for all intents and purposes, I will be generalizing, and what I'll say in this whole video centers on one point. That elections are good for our markets no matter who the candidates are and no matter who wins. Again, ulitin ko po, gine-generalize ko. I want to make it apolitical because yun po ang totoo. Kahit papano po, sa research ko, sa experience ko, yan po ang natutunan ko. And that's the reason why I've been using this information to guide myself in my investments, in my choice of decisions, and in things that I will do in managing my whole net worth moving forward. Kasi po, alam naman natin, medyo matagal-tagal na ako sa larangang ito. It kinda ages me. Pero lagi ko pong sinasabi, it is not the experience that counts, but what you do with the experience. Kasi ang dami naman din po, ang tagal nang nag-i-invest, pero para bang pagdating ng mga ganitong sitwasyon, nagkakalimutan. Hindi na nila naaalala ang nangyari dati. Remember, history repeats itself, and it's hard lessons for people who never learn from it. Napakabigat po ng lessons of history. When history repeats itself, ang laki pong dagok niyan sa mga hindi natuto. So what I will show you is a real study of how elections in the Philippines affect markets. Ito po maganda. Slide number 1. Ano po ang nangyayari sa ating merkado 12 months before the election and 12 months after the election? Siguro po interesado kayong malaman na kung si ganito pa ang naging presidente noon, ano ba ang nangyari sa ating stock market? At nung si ganito na ang presidente, ano ang nangyari? Now, I'm not going to be particularly pinning down a good president, a bad president, and stuff like that. Hindi po. It's all going to be factual. So, clearly, ang aking sample size, pamula sa termino ni Fidel V. Ramos, going into Joseph Ejercito Estrada's term, and then followed by Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, then Benigno Simeon Aquino III at ang atin pong current president na si President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. So yan po, mula 1992 yan. Siyempre hindi ko na sinama si Cory, medyo revolutionary government pa lang noon. So tingnan natin ito talagang buong horizon na ito looking back at those 5 presidents. So dito po sa slide number 1, makikita nyo, kukunti ang nag-negative. In fact, kung sisilipin nyo yung bumaba from 0, parang yung blue bars lang, at dalawang maliliit na green, both happening before the election. So, hindi po natin masasabi na effect nila yung nangyari before the election. 'Di ba? Kasi kandidato pa lang naman sila noon. But we all know, after the election, may impact na kasi yan. Kasi administration na nila. But this is clear. Halos lahat po talaga, before the election and after the election, 12 months, 6 months, 3 months before, and 3 months after, 6 months after, and 12 months after, kadalasan po positive. So ulitin ko, doon sa before the elections, parang ang nagkaroon lang ng negative, si ERAP at si President Duterte. Happening largely 12 months before the election. Pero yun nga, hindi naman nila kasalanan siguro yun dahil hindi pa naman sila nagsisilbing presidente. Pero ito po, ang medyo glaring. After the election, makikita natin ang pinaka-challenged, si President Estrada. 1 month after the election, nasa negative siya. 3 months after the election, nasa negative siya. 6 months after the election, nasa negative siya. Siya po ay nagkaroon lang ng positibong market after 12 months within his term as president. Pero, despite that, 12 months after being president, naging positive na din po ang stock market. Ano po ang glaring dito? Lahat presidente after the election ay nagkaroon ng positive na stock market. 3, 6 months, and 12 months after the election. So, President Estrada was an exception. But as I've said, on his first year as president, bumawi din po ang market. At anong magnitude po nitong mga negatives at positives na ito ang kailangan nating silipin? Tingnan po natin. Nung si President Fidel B. Ramos po ang presidente, right after 3 months, up na agad ang stock market ng 31%. 31%. Siguro talagang kumpiyansang-kumpiyansa ang merkado kay Fidel B. Ramos. Ito po ay naging plus 21.4 at naging 47.6 nung kanyang 6 month at 12 months. Napakalakas po talaga. So, maybe people liked what they saw, and I'm not saying Filipinos only, kasi po ito talagang nagkaroon ito nung tinatawag nating international investor confidence. Ang bigat po nung pasok ng foreign investors sa ating merkado. Ulitin ko po, ang pinaka-problematic, si President Estrada, 3 months after nanalo siya, negative 34% agad. Tapos nagkaroon pa siya ng negative 18.7 in 6 months at nagkaroon ng positive na 13.9, almost 14% after 12 months. Now, sasabihin nyo, talagang si ERAP ang pinakamahinang presidente. Huwag naman, hindi po ganun katotoo yun. If I'm going to be looking back at markets, and if we're going to be using this stock market numbers as a barometer for it, I don't think we can blame the Asian financial crisis on President Estrada. Kasi natatandaan nyo po, naging presidente siya 1998. Kailan ba yung Asian financial crisis? 97-98. So, dun po siya medyo tinamaan. And it's not the Philippines, it's the whole of Asia. And somehow, it also impacted the rest of the world. So, nakabawi na siya at about plus 14 after 12 months, which is where the country also recovered and the Asian community also recovered from the Asian financial crisis. Kay GMA, ano po ang nangyari? 3 months after, 1% plus. 6 months after, almost 17% on the upside and almost 22% of the upside in 12 months. Kay President Pinoy, 12% plus after 3 months, 38.4% after 6 months, and 35.2% after 12 months. Ngayon, ang totoo naman po, marami ding nagsasabi, si President Pinoy also got a lot of pluses and boosters from the term at mga nagawa naman ni President GMA. Yung kanyang pag-open up ng markets, yung kanyang pag-establish ng certain reforms, not just in banking but in many other areas, kahit papano daw, yung mga succeeding administrations also grow from those. So we cannot really say it's only because of that president and within his term. Kaya po sinasabi ko nga, I cannot be political with this discussion. I'm just being factual. Pero yan po ang totoo, napakaganda nung term ni President Pinoy. So market-wise, confidence-wise, much like what happened with President Ramos, medyo nagkaroon po ng tinatawag na investor confidence. Not just locally, but internationally. Medyo kumagat po ang mga tao dun sa sinasabi niyang daang matuwid, yung pagbaba ng corruption. Siguro there was a bit of optimism regarding that. Paano naman kay President Duterte? Okay, kay PRRD, 14% plus in 3 months. Bumaba to 3.4% in 6 months and almost 11% in 12 months. So in a way, he's also good for the market. In fact, all of them are good for the markets. As I've said, even President Estrada had that recovery for his first 12 months, his first year in office. Alam niyo po, ang mabigat, if you're going to be looking at history, ang average. Ang average is 3 months after the new administration comes in, the new president takes his oath or her oath, 5% po almost ang tinataas ng market. In 6 months, 12% plus ang inakyat ng markets on the average, and 12 months after, almost 26%. Hindi po nagsisinungaling ang numbers na ito. Ito ang history. So, I hope this kinda gives you a little tinge of optimism, because the clear conclusion here is that no matter who the winning president is, and no matter who the candidates are, this is how the elections unfolded in the last 5 presidential terms. But do we just blindly come in and invest? No. Kailangan tingnan nyo din yung mga factors na nagdadala ng mga pluses na to. Why was it good for certain presidents and why was it an uphill climb for some others? Ito po ang bantayan natin. Again, hindi ko po sinasabi that this is personality-based. I'd want you to know that as an investor, I analyze what made some presidents stick, what made them positive in terms of our experience with them and investment and capital markets. Ito po ang kailangan bantayan natin. After the election or before the election, we will have to see things, and these are the factors to watch out for. Number 1, platform of government and the main priorities of their administration. Sasabihin po nila yan kung hindi pa nila nasasabi ngayon. Some presidents aren't so clear. Medyo motherhood pa lang. Pag yan po, syempre nanalo. Abay, dapat yan lumabas na yung tinatawag na talagang plataforma at detalye ng kanilang magiging prioridad. Yun ang kailangan bantayan natin. Sila ba ay magiging friendly sa foreign investors? Sila ba ay, tututok sa corruption? Ano ang kanilang magiging focus? Drugs ba uli? Yung mga ganun ba? Kailangan titingnan natin yan. Ano ang mga main priorities? And are these priorities going to help capital markets and investment growth. That is one. Next, bantayan po natin sino ang kanilang i-appoint sa executive branch. Kasi yun ang kanilang uunahin eh. Yung kanilang executive branch. Kasi syempre, yung tinatawag na legislative branch, election po yan. Ang mga magiging protagonist dyan ay iahalal din ng mga tao. At ang mga judicial naman, syempre independent body din po yan. Later on, the president can impact those by, kind of focusing on who can be the speaker, who can be officers, who can be appointed as chief justice, and new justices of the court. But in the first salvo, syempre po, mas mabibigat yung appointees muna niya ang mabantayan natin. Sino ang uupo sa kabinete? Is it the best and the brightest? Or is it going to be political patronage na ang ilalagay niya, mga nakatulong sa kanya, mga kaibigan niya? Diba? Sabi po natin, in the past, kitang-kita natin yan. Pag yan po ay kamag-anak, kaibigan, medyo delikado po ang ating bansa. There would be an issue on investor confidence. Third, other appointments po. There would be critical leadership appointments. Very important, yung sa economic team. The economic team will have to be a good team. Alam nyo, tatapatin ko kayo, ang laki ng naging problema natin, di ba? May gera, may COVID, kung ano-anong natural calamities ang tumama sa atin. But I will tell you, despite everything that will be said about this administration and the people around it, even with the president, I can tell you quite frankly, believe ako sa ating economic team. Sa ating finance secretary na si Secretary Sunny Dominguez, sa atin pong BSP Governor na si Ben Jokno, at ang ating NEDA head na si Carl Chua. Kahit papano po, masasabi kong mabigat ang nagawa nila given all the challenges that they are facing. But let me tell you this, when the markets were really going so well, think about who the finance secretaries were. Natatandaan niyo ba? Yung finance secretary ni President Ramos, idol na idol. Hindi ba? Bobby De Ocampo. More than once, Finance Minister of the Year, globally awarded. Hindi lang yata isa, nakadalawa yata siya. At kung hindi ako nagkakamali, 3 pa yata eh. So that will certainly bring forth optimism and confidence. Sino ang Finance Secretary ni President Pinoy? Idol din, Cesar Purisimo. So you will have to see who gets appointed to this very important economic team. And lastly, the GOCCs. Kasi alam nyo naman, pinakamalalaking problema natin ngayon, yung ating mga, di ba, government agencies. Unang-una na po dyan ang PhilHealth. Pag ang PhilHealth po, yung problema dyan hindi masolve, medyo magkakaroon ng matindi-tinding issues ang susunod na presidente. And lastly, we also have to see the president's response to current critical concerns. Hindi pa po tapos ang COVID. What are the measures that the president will take to make sure that this will be a thing of the past? Paano po siya magre-respond sa mga tinatawag na critical issues within the current situation as he begins his term or her term? So, medyo importante po lahat ito. Ito ang babantayan natin. And what does this tell you? This tells you that no matter who the sitting president is, we will have to look inward and check forth our own positions. Kailangan po, let us not base our decisions simply on what's happening outside or simply on the environment. We will have to make our decisions focused on internally. What's our own basic situation? How can we optimize our own personal net worth and estate values while balancing all the investments that we've made? Whether it's insurance or our security products, fixed income investments, mutual funds and equity positions, real estate, businesses, and the other investments we can put money in. How do we maneuver? How do we strategize, optimize, and make sure we take care of leakages that can possibly happen? And I guess I need to wrap this all up by quoting an idol of mine who is actually the idol of my other idol, This guy has been put on the pedestal by no other than Warren Buffett, the world's foremost investor. And who is this guy? He is Benjamin Graham. And in his book, Intelligent Investor, he says, successful investing is about managing risk, not avoiding it. Ito po, kahit papano, kinulayan ko ng kaunti, tinranslate ko para mas madaling ma-absorb. And I always say this rule to myself. Take care of the downside, because if you take care of the downside, the upside will take care of itself. I hope ito pong discussion ko sa bidyong ito ay kahit papano nakapagpalakas ng loob sa marami sa inyo. At hindi lang yon, nakapagbigay ng kaalaman on how we can properly manage our investments moving forward. In these next few days, prior to the elections, and even after the Philippine elections, I wish we get to elect good leaders for our country. I hope that our country would be in a better, faster clip for growth after we choose our new leaders. Ito po uli si Rex Mendoza, nagpapasalamat sa inyo for giving me your attention, for watching this video, and hope you will like it and you will subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. I wish you all the very best. Blessings always.